Hi Aquarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call a bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is I look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all those, we actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side we have the Tarot Sacred Magic. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the for persons. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Eight of Staves. So this is actually Sagittarius energy here. And usually this represents communication for me, and as we can see there's a lot of birds in the actual artwork. So to me that makes me think of social media. So for a lot of you this person might have possibly been at a distance from you, but at the very least it looks like there was definitely a lot of communication taking place via social media, I feel, primarily, as opposed to face-to-face communication. Alright, and past energy on their side, we have the Eight of Swords. So this is Gemini energy, basically the exact opposite of this card. So it could just be saying that they might have, maybe they were a bit overwhelmed with the amount of communication at the time. That's one way I could see it, but really what I'm picking on with this as well is that I feel like they might have been otherwise involved when they were initially talking to you in the past, or at the very least they still had someone from the past on their minds. Because we could see how in the artwork she's kind of looking over her shoulder a little bit to the figure in the stairs there. And that actually looks like the Devil card from this particular deck, so could just be saying a karmic connection from their past that they still weren't completely closed with at the time. Alright. Present position on your side, we have the Nine of Cups. So this is Pisces energy here, and Nine of Cups definitely represents a bit of a wish fulfillment energy, but what always stands out to me with the artwork in this one in particular, compared to, like, let's say in traditional tarot, usually it is a person looking for things to come to them, but here I get more of an energy of this person kind of manifesting their own thing, right? Because if we think about the Ten of Cups, there's also a rainbow going across the sky like that. So I feel like this is saying that you guys are actually taking action on your own behalf to make it happen. So that's what I'm feeling there. And present energy on their side, we have the Fool. So what I would say with this energy is they're definitely a lot more open than they were in the past as well. For some of you, if the scenario I mentioned resonates, where maybe they still had someone from their past, I could see this as representing them leaving that behind, right? If we think about those two people in the background there representing a couple, I feel like this could be them finally leaving that situation behind. That's certainly a possibility. But I will say we do see their back turned to the cards on this side, so it's potential that this could be unrelated to this connection at all. I definitely feel like they're in an energy of a fresh start and taking action now, as opposed to in the Eight of Swords in that past position where they weren't really in that mode. Alright, future energy on your side, we have Triumph, which is the equivalent of the World card, Innocence, which is the equivalent of the Fool card, and Tradition, which is the equivalent of the Hierophant in traditional tarot. So a lot of pretty solid energy here. So with the Triumph, I feel like this is saying that this is you guys learning some lessons on your own, possibly again with the, if there is physical distance between the two of you, this could actually represent that gap being bridged. Innocence, Fool represents taking that leap, right? Like we were just talking about with the energy on their side. And with Tradition, this could actually point to you guys actually bringing this into a more formal, committed relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to mean marriage per se, but I feel like for a lot of you, this is saying that eventually you might at the very least end up living together at some point. So it definitely looks like there's a lot of potential on this side. Alright, and future energy on their side, we have the Knave of Chalices. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Cups, and what always stands out to me with this artwork here is it looks like he's trying to write a letter, right? And we see he's crumpling up one wallpaper. There's already a couple on the floor in the background. So it could just be saying that this person might just struggle to communicate their feelings. So yeah, I mean, it could just be, like I said, for those of you, if they had another connection in the background that they weren't still over when you guys were first connecting in the past, and they walk away from it, could just be them, just struggling to communicate around their feelings with you at this time. But given what I'm seeing as a whole, looks like there is some openness there. It could just be that this person's going to be moving slower than the speed that you might be willing to move at this time. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Two of Staves. So this is actually Aries energy here. And again, there's an energy of fresh start right now. For you guys, Aries is your third house communication too. So at the very least, this could be you guys wanting to communicate around moving things forward within the connection. And beneath that, we actually see the Six of Staves, which is a pretty confident energy. So yeah, it definitely looks like you guys are going to be ready to move the connection forward. All right. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So slower moving energy here for sure. So that could be the primary thing, which is to say that you can usually depend on a Knight of Pentacles energy. They're usually reliable, but they just move a bit slower. So we could even see, for example, the way he's approaching her, it almost seems like he's catching her off guard, right? Because it could just be one of those things where because he moves so slow, this person might have assumed, oh, well, whatever this offer is, it's not going to be coming, right? So looks like you might have to have a little bit of patience with them, but we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. All right, so first we'll see what we get from the Aqua Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and what I'm going to be looking for is unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if nothing comes up after I shuffle for a bit, then we'll actually just put the deck down and pull a card that way. All right, so let's see what we get. All right, got one there, and next we'll see what we get from them to you. All right, looks like we got two on their side. All right, so we'll see what we got. Okay, on your side, we have listen. It says, I'm telling you the truth. You can trust my words. So, yeah. So, with that could even point to that past energy we saw with the communication there. And if that's the case, the Eight of Swords might have just represented on their side as opposed to there being another connection, possibly just a fear around maybe commitment itself, or maybe they just got burned in the past, so they might have just been a little bit slower to open up, which would also explain the rest of the energy we see there. So yeah, it could just be one of those things where you might have felt that energy from them too. That whatever you were saying to them, you might have felt like they had a little bit of hesitancy. Like if we think about the Eight of Swords in traditional tarot, it's the woman standing there with a blindfold and not wanting to move forward, right? So it has been one of those things where you're trying to put their mind at ease. All right, on their side, we have embarrassed. It says, I know I've acted childishly. I don't know how to approach you now. So interesting there, because let's say if this was representing you guys, hey, making an offer to them, right? They had their own baggage from the past that they weren't ready to move from yet. And maybe for some of you in that regard, the Fool card could represent them walking away. And then in the future, that could be what that Knave of Chalice's energy is, which is them trying to communicate and apologize to you. Like, yeah, sorry, I kind of screwed things up, right? So I could see where that could fit. All right, and we have regrets. It says, I should have, I could have, I would have. So yeah, I mean, kind of the same message, right? So yeah, now that I'm looking at it this way, could be a situation where you guys might have made an offer to them. They might have moved away, right? Like we said, maybe they just still had some stuff in their past that they were still dealing with. You might have just been determined, like, you know what, I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm going to manifest my happiness regardless, right? You start moving forward. Now this person gets their act together and comes to communicate to you again. Like I said, it's still going to take a while with the Knight of Pentacles energy we see there. And then eventually that can lead to the energies we see here, which are actually pretty solid. So Looks like it might require a little patience, but it looks like they will actually come through. All right, and lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. And same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck also, but here we're just going to be looking for a single card with general advice, and then we'll wrap up. Alright, so nothing's coming up, so what I'll do is I'll put the deck down, and just give me a few seconds to tune in, and we'll pull a card. Alright, I'll go with this one, and we have Clean It Up. There's the artwork, and the number is 21. Alright, interesting, that's also the same number that we have on the Triumph card, so could be a connection there. Okay, it says getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away what is no longer needed. The Oracle's message: ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work? Overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of way natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack, takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. So yeah, that energy there definitely makes me think of the Nine of Cups energy we see on your side in the present, but hopefully that resonated. And then the relationship message says, time to clear the air, take a look at your side of the street, and say what's on your mind. Sweep away the old stuff so that a spring breeze can flow through with new energy. It's the perfect time to do an inventory of your dynamics and see what's yours and what's not yours, to clean up the relationship. Everyone brings some baggage. Sort through what you brought with you and let go of what is no longer needed. Become unencumbered and your relationship will flourish. So pretty positive message there too. I will say it sounds more like this is the energy that the person on the right would most likely need to embody, but like we said, for some of you, you might feel like this resonates more with your energy anyway, and this is the other person. But yeah, either way, like I said, it looks like there is some potential there. Just might require a little bit of patience. So we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.